Hey, how's it going? Let's talk about money. So, I want to share some thoughts today on how governments often exploit poor people through their monetary policies. I recently returned from a vacation in Egypt. Something struck me during my visit. So, I barely used Egyptian pound. Actually, I haven't made a single transaction with Egyptian pound. Most of the time, I used either dollars or euros, and I thought to myself, like, this is a very original approach to making business. Imagine if some tourists came to Poland and started offering in a restaurant, or that would be perceived as a weird, but in Egypt it was quite common and a natural thing. So, after reflecting on this and looking at few key graphs, the reasons became clear. The Egyptian pound has lost 90% of its purchasing power against the dollar over the last decade. And here you can see it on the graph. It goes from 5 Egyptian pound per dollar to 50. And this is so crushing. I've never ever seen such a graph like that. And this is quite obvious to me that there is some meddling involved when you see such a hops like this. It is absolutely not normal. In general, the local currencies over time lose against dollar, lose against euros, as they're sort of these reserve currencies. However, also these reserve currencies lose its value over time. As we know, throughout the last 100 years, dollar lost 99.7% of its purchasing power. So why has this happened, right? When I asked Egyptians about it, they were aware of the problem, but their explanations varied, like, oh, it was the pandemic, or it was the war in Ukraine, or the government announced changes recently, right? So let's dive a little bit deeper into those changes and those government announcements. Politicians and central bankers are always quick to point fingers and find scapegoats, both with their medias that they control. But while short term events might spark some inflation, it's usually the long term culprit is almost always the same, and this is unchecked, irresponsible money printing, but those at the top. So, meanwhile, most Egyptians live in a dire condition. It's a third world country, as you can see here.
Let's go. Why? Sta bazar ماشي سكلبو بيبشي برافا خربان. Again, move علي. علي.
Their government invests in humongous projects like a new capital city with towering skyscrapers and lush gardens in the desert. Uh, this money printing spree comes at the expense of these ordinary people. Bitcoin offers a solution to this problem. Governments and societies that use Bitcoin are forced to control their spending because Bitcoin's supply is fixed. Unlike fiat currencies, you can just print more Bitcoin to fund extravagant projects. Now, I'm not against government investments, but before launching massive initiatives, shouldn't the government ask their citizens if they agree? Do you think the average Egyptian would prioritize building a new capital city over having basic necessities like, I don't know, reliable electricity and running water. Bitcoin doesn't strip governments of all power. Instead, it removes their ability to dilute the money supply at will, ensuring accountability and protecting the purchasing power of their citizens. And that's why you should study Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, hodl Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoins. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, like, comment, or dislike, share with the others. That helps me a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around.